How's it going, everyone? It is the investing guy here, and today I have a very serious video for you guys. So if you guys watch one video of mine, make sure that it's this one, and make sure that you watch the whole thing because it is very, very important. This is a topic that not a lot of people talk about. I haven't heard actually one person talk about this, but it is very, very important. Now, throughout the past few days or the past few weeks here in my hometown, there's been a lot of deaths. As sad as it is, you know, we think about life and it's hard for us to, especially if we have these goals, it's hard for us to imagine a day where we die. But the truth is that we all die. We don't know when it's going to happen, and I hope that none of us die in the near future. But the truth is that we just don't know when it's going to happen. Now, I went ahead and I started doing some research on my Voyager account and my Robinhood account and all of these accounts, and I started assigning beneficiaries to my Roth IRA. I started assigning beneficiaries to my bank accounts, beneficiaries to my retirement plan and whatnot. Guys, before we continue, make sure that you smash that subscribe. Go ahead and help me out, please. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And make sure that you hit that like button down below. If you do subscribe, guys, at 500 subscribers, I will be giving away a 99.9% silver coin. So very cool to have some silver. Okay. All right, let's get right into the video. Okay, so as I was trying to name a beneficiary here on my Voyager account, I ran into this issue where they do not support us putting a beneficiary. So right here it says Voyager is unable to directly designate a beneficiary on your account at this time. So right now, you know, you can't say I want this account to go to this person. Most bank accounts do have that. Most Roth IRAs do have that, right? So a lot of traditional banks do have this, but Voyager doesn't. So it's very, very important that if you do pass away, you know, hopefully that doesn't happen and whatnot. It's very uncomfortable to talk about this, you know, but we need to be realistic, and it could happen to any of us, right? At any given moment. Does your family know? Does someone know that, hey, you have a Voyager account with so much money? Or do they know that you even hold this? Do they understand it? You know, so it's very important to let someone know, someone that you trust, or even the person that you want to give this to, if something were to happen. Do they know what this is? Do they know its worth? Do they know why you hold it? Are you going to give them instructions on what you want them to do with it? Okay, so this is a lot of things that you want to take into consideration. And maybe have that talk with someone or the person who you directly want to give your account to if something were to happen to you. Okay, now it's very important, if you do have a Robinhood account, same thing here. Robinhood does not support beneficiaries at this time, but if you've recently experienced a loss of a loved one, please know that we're here for you. This process, if you do not write a will, can be very, very expensive for your loved ones, so you definitely do not want to go through this, right? This can go up to $3,000 in some places, and if your account is worth $5,000, is it really going to be worth that fight for your family, right? So make sure that you make it as easy as possible for them if something were to happen to you. So depending on where you are, handwritten or holographic wills are accepted, right? So for example, I'm in California and holographic wills are accepted. Okay, so pretty much what I did on my Roth IRA, I was able to put, you know, I want this to go to so and so, and I put in all their information and whatnot. But there are some things that I was not able to designate to certain people, so I had to create a holographic will. It's very important that you create, well, for me at least, I want to create a holographic will. I do not want to make something, say, on Google Docs or something like that. I want to do something that is handwritten, just in case if someone does take over my phone, or let's say that one day I lose my phone or whatnot, you know, and they're able to access all my stuff. I don't want this information on my Google documents. Okay, so that's why it's very important for me that I'm doing this handwritten. Again, you can do whatever you want. You know, you can go through, if you have someone that is going to handle all these things for you, you can go through them or whatever. But what I did is I wrote a handwritten will, and I gave it to someone that I really do trust, that all my information is on there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you an example of exactly what I did. Obviously this is a fictional one that I created really fast. So the person here that we have is Mark Wahlberg, and we have today's date, and it's his will, right? So in the event that I die, I want my assets to be spread out as stated below. I want my niece, Jane Roe, to receive all my cryptocurrencies on Voyager. Below is my login. For me, I want to give them the login to make this as easy as possible. Okay, so I'm going to put my email here and my password here. Again, this is something that's very, very important. So give it to someone who you absolutely trust. Don't go and give this to your new friend who you made a month ago, because they might log in and take over all your stuff or whatnot, okay? Or your friend from the internet. They might log in and take over your stuff. So you make sure that you give this to a wife, a son, or you write a letter. Open if I die, only open if I die, and maybe you can be updating this every 5 years, every 4 years, which is something that I definitely will be doing, because as of now, I don't have any children. I'm not married. So my will look a lot different. Let's say in 5 years, if I have a child, my will is going to look very different. So that's when I would, tell the person that I gave this to, hey, get rid of my old will, let's burn it or whatever, and here's my new one. Okay, so that's what I would do. I want my nephew to receive all my crypto on BlockFi. So make sure that if you have multiple accounts, that you list them all. Because, for example, me, I have crypto on about 5 different platforms. My family does not know about all that stuff, right? They don't know that I hold crypto on Coinbase. They don't know that I hold crypto on Nexo. They don't know that I hold crypto on BlockFi. They don't know that I hold crypto on crypto.com, So I'm going to write all that stuff on my will. Okay, and then same thing for Robinhood. Okay, I want my Aunt Betty to take over my stocks on Robinhood, and whatever. You can make this as long as you want. They could be pages long and as detailed as you want. If you want to give certain instructions, please do not sell these cryptocurrencies. I want you to gain interest and live off these interests. Then you can write that in here, and hopefully they follow your wish. Once you pass this over to them, though, you do need to realize that they can do whatever they want with it. You can give them instructions, and I mean, if someone gave me something and they passed away with certain instructions, I would definitely follow those instructions. But again, you need to realize that if you give this to so-and-so and they decide to sell it all the day they receive it, they can do that. It's now their property. You can give them instructions, but they can do whatever they want with it, as long as they're 18 or older. If they're 15 or 16 or whatever, and not adults, then they can't make that decision by themselves. Okay, and then lastly, make sure that you sign it and that you have that someone in your home does have some of your writing so that they can compare. If they're dealing with a lot of money, they are going to want to compare your handwriting to, say, previous handwriting of yours. Very important that they have writing samples, because they will want that. As you can see here, material provisions of the will are in handwriting of the person making the will, right? So they need to make sure that this is your handwriting, okay? So make sure that somehow they have some sort of way to compare your handwriting to your will. That way it doesn't cause any trouble. You don't want your wife to create your will, because what if your wife just gives everything to herself, right? Or whatever. It can be a lot of issues, right? Death can be ugly, especially when there's money involved. All right, guys, hopefully this helped you. And I know that it's an uncomfortable topic, but it's a very, very important topic that we need to talk about. So hopefully it brought some awareness to something. Hopefully you take something out of it and you learn something. And guys, let me know what you think down below. Do you have any other ideas on how to create a will for cryptocurrencies? Because right now it's a very weird situation for beneficiaries in cryptocurrencies. So what are you guys doing about this? I know this was my solution to that. But yeah, hopefully you guys learned something, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.